Greetings and salutations. Thank you for lending an ear to The Voice of the Times this Tuesday, August 31, 2021, for today's editorial, Still in the Dark About the Origins of COVID-19. A study by 18 U.S. intelligence agencies on the origins of the coronavirus has failed to come up with conclusive findings on how the pandemic that is changing the world started. U.S. President Joe Biden ordered the study in March after a scientific team the World Health Organization, or WHO, had sent to China reportedly failed to find the source of the virus. Finding the origin of a virus takes time, and we owe it to the world to find the source in order that we can collectively take steps to reduce the risk of this happening again, WHO Director General Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus explained. A number of scientists believe the WHO team was denied by the Chinese government access to what could have been more revealing data about the virus and how it spread. The credibility of the WHO study was further eroded after the Wall Street Journal, or WSJ, published a series of articles quoting U.S. intelligence sources, tracing the origin of the pandemic to a leak in a laboratory in Wuhan, China. The lab had been doing research on bats that were possibly infected with SARS-CoV-2, the novel coronavirus that is the precursor of COVID-19. Several of the lab staff fell ill with flu-like symptoms, and any one of them could have been COVID-19's patient 1, according to the WSJ. Biden wanted a definitive conclusion and gave the U.S. intelligence community 3 months to submit its own findings. The intelligence report was inconclusive as well. Nearly 2 years after the pandemic began, we're still in the dark about how the virus, which continues to mutate into more virulent variants and has killed almost 4.5 million people around the world, found its way to human hosts. The report was only sure of one thing: there was no evidence that China was developing the coronavirus into a bioweapon. The U.S. Office of the Director on National Intelligence elaborated on the report and found both the lab leak theory and the theory the virus was naturally transmitted from animals to humans in the market in Wuhan, China, were plausible. But it found no hard evidence to bolster any of the two theories. The ambiguous result did not stop Biden from taking a dig at China for refusing to cooperate with the investigation. Critical information about the origins of this pandemic exists in the People's Republic of China. Yet, from the beginning, government officials in China have worked to prevent international investigators and members of the global health community from accessing it, he said. China has jabbed back, accusing the U.S. of stigmatizing it. Once again, geopolitics is getting in the way of what should be an international crusade to defeat a common enemy, the coronavirus. There is, however, a looming window for cooperation. The WHO is organizing another, more comprehensive study on the origins of the coronavirus. The multinational effort involves locating not only the very first cases of COVID-19, but the animals that might have been the intermediary hosts. The WHO also plans to assemble noted scientists, specialists, and researchers from 20 fields into the Scientific Advisory Group for Origins of Novel Pathogens, a supercommittee that will study the beginnings of recent pathogens from SARS-CoV-2 to Ebola. The ambitious WHO plan is being lauded by many in the scientific community, but Thomas Boyke, director of the Global Health Program at the Council on Foreign Relations in Washington, is convinced such a group would be better outside of the WHO as a coalition of national scientific academies. Boyke thinks an independent body can be more effective in achieving cross-border collaborations, saying the WHO cannot act without the blessing of its member states, the most influential of which are the US and China. There is an urgency to implementing such a plan. The WHO has warned it would soon be biologically impossible to collect evidence in the search for COVID-19's origins. The window of opportunity for conducting this crucial study is closing fast. It said, it is an opportunity we cannot afford to pass up. And that's the editorial for Tuesday, August 31, 2021. For more news and information, get a copy of the Manila Times on print, subscribe to our digital edition, or log on to www.manilatimes.net. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and listen to The Voice of the Times.